All right, well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us in our first kind of adventure and a hangout on air here for the Professional Development Department. We're going to be doing some more of these trainings that everybody's able to access, and as you remember, it'll be recorded as well, so even if you're not watching us live, you'll be able to watch us at your own convenience. We'll put a link to the place where you can see all of these different training sessions on the Professional Development website in the event page, and before we leave, we'll make sure everybody gets that as well. But we are very lucky today to be joined by the Instructional Technology Specialist from McNeil High School, Ms. Krista Tyler. And kind of the way this came about is I had the opportunity to sit in on one of her sessions when she was working with some coaches and talking to them about their life in Google and the way that they can streamline some things and look at their inbox and different ways to use Chrome just to make themselves more productive during the day and make things a little less frustrating. So I want to thank Krista, first of all, for taking their time out today to join us and lead us through some of this learning. We have a question and answer option for you. If you have any questions while you're watching, just hit the Q&A button and post those questions. Also, if you want to just check in and let everybody else know who's here, you can put your name and where you work in the Q&A section as well. So thanks again for taking the time to join us, and I am going to turn it over to Krista.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. So just a little background to this mind-blown presentation is that this is just something I put together because of something I learned, and everyone that I told was like, yeah, of course you can do that, duh, we already know that. And I thought, well, why did I not know this? And it kind of made me think, well, you don't know what you don't know. And so that's where a lot of this presentation comes from. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The link to the presentation is on the Google Plus event page, but you can also just type bit.do/mindblown into your address bar and it'll show up as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and Ryan, just let me know when it's working for you.
There you go. We should be good to go.
All right, we're up. So again, here's your link to the presentation right there, bit.do/mindblown. It is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize that M and that B, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing, and again, the original item that made me think I need to do a presentation on all this stuff, is the custom calendar view. So if I go ahead and click on that, all of the things that I mentioned in this presentation are linked for you, so don't feel like if you don't remember something you're never going to be able to get back to it. It's all here for you. So changing your calendar view, let me go and show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's part of my calendar, and if I were to turn on every single calendar that I'm in charge of, it gets a little overwhelming, so let's turn some of those off and we'll just look at this one, and you'll see that this is the month view. So what was very frustrating for me looking at my calendar was, this is today, the 9th. I don't need to see what was happening last week. I do not need that anymore. So I wanted to be able to see the 9th at the top. So I went ahead and made my custom calendar view 4 weeks, and I clicked that little button right here. And now that's at the top. I don't have to see what's in the past because we don't need to live in the past. So in order to do that, and you can set this to kind of however you want. 4 weeks is what I like, and that's what I love about Google, is that you can customize things the way that you want them. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So I'm going to click my little settings wheel right up here. You'll notice if I hover over it, it tells me exactly what it is. So I'll click on settings, and I'm going to go into my settings. And if we scroll down through all of these different things, you'll notice we have something called custom view. So I chose 4 weeks. If you just want to see the upcoming 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is that you want to see, you can choose that. I'm going to go ahead and say 4 weeks. And I make my default view, which is the view that happens as soon as you open up Google Calendar. I went ahead and chose custom view because that's the one that I want to see every time that I open up Calendar. So once I choose those 2 items, I can scroll right down here and click Save. You always want to make sure you save your changes. So now every time that I open up my Google Calendar, it's at 4 weeks, unless I've changed it to something else, which I don't I hardly ever do because I enjoy the 4-week view. I find this especially helpful for teachers as you're planning like kind of your 6 weeks, and I really wish that there was a 6 weeks option. Come on, Google Calendar, get there for the teachers. We need a 6 weeks option, but we'll stick with 4 weeks right now. So that is the first thing ever that blew my mind, and I thought, how did I not already know this? And something else that kind of blew my counselors' minds, they were all trying to set up some appointments, and there is an appointment view in Google Calendar, but it wasn't quite what they were looking for, so I showed them You Can Book Me. And You Can Book Me is associated with your Google account, so if you just click Login right here, you'll see Login with Google. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It asks for permission to see my calendar and my email address so it can do all kinds of cool things for me. So I just go ahead and accept that. Yes, it's fine. So I'm going to accept the You Can Book Me. And what you can do is go ahead and set up a little You Can Book Me calendar. So if I wanted to make appointments, oh, sorry, I haven't set it up right. If I want to make appointments, I can go in and decide how I want to do that. So I'm going to manage my bookings. And when do I want them to happen? And again, we don't really have time to go through every single aspect of that. Whoops, let's go back. But you can go in here and set different settings. You can decide when you want people, click on times, when I want them to sign up, when I have appointments available, what days I have appointments available, and this will put up a whole little You Can Book Me thing, and they can click on the days that they want to make an appointment, and it automatically populates your calendar. So it's a really cool little feature. I know our counselors here at McNeil use it to schedule like junior conferences with kids and parents and things like that. So if you make appointments with people, often you might want to look into You Can Book Me because it's pretty cool. Do we have any questions so far, Ryan? Or
no, I think so far no questions. You're doing a great job of explaining everything, so clearly I think everybody's got it down. But just remember, if you do have any questions along the way, feel free to either post them on the event page. I'm monitoring that while Krista's doing the teaching, or in the Q&A app, and they'll show up right here for us to answer.
Good deal.
Let's learn about tab scissors and tab glue.
Yes, the next thing that blew my mind was tab scissors and tab glue. I know some of us in the district have those sweet little dual screens happening on our desktop, but not everybody has that, and most of us now, at least a lot of the teachers, are carrying around a laptop, and that can get very frustrating. Let's say I get an email, and I want to look at this email and say, okay, is this happening? Oh, let me look at my calendar. What day is that? What did they want to meet me? Oh, let's go look back in my email. And I'm switching, and I'm going back and forth, and by the time that I get all of this done, I can't even remember what the email was about in the first place. So all I need to do is go ahead and pick on whichever window that I want. And I have this sweet little extension right here, the little scissor button. So if I click on my little scissors, and I'll let it kind of catch up, you'll notice it has split my screen into 2 equal parts. So now I can see my calendar, and I can see my inbox at the same time, and then whenever I am done, I can glue those things back together. And I'm hoping it's not going to glue every single Chrome thing that I've got open right now, but let's go ahead and try that. Gluing, gluing, gluing. My screen's going a little bit crazy right now. We'll give it a second. Oh, sorry guys. There's my adorable child. Okay. Are we back on? And now I'm showing our Hangout. Here we go. So we're glued back together. Hopefully y'all can see that. And now I've got dual screens happening on my desktop right now, like I was talking about. And I had multiple windows open. It doesn't always work like that. So that's the reason that it kind of went wonky. But yours shouldn't do that. So tab scissors and tab glue. And I want to show you guys how to do that. But I noticed we had a question.
Well, the question was about turning off safety mode in YouTube. So
yeah,
if anybody is having trouble with that, you scroll down to the bottom of your YouTube page, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tabs: language, country, and safety. You should be able to click on the safety button and switch that to off.
Right.
If you're having any other issues with that, go ahead and send me a chat through your email, and I'll try to help you through that on the side.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Not much we can do about YouTube settings. All right, so how to get tab scissors and tab glue. I'm going to go ahead and just open a new tab here. Or you can click this little rainbow apps button that's right up here on your bookmarks bar. All right, and we're going to go use this little shopping bag right here and go to the Chrome web store. So I'm going to click on that. And again, all of this is linked for you in the presentation, so I can just type tab glue or tab scissors, and they will show up right here. Now mine are green because I already have them. Yours will be blue with a little plus sign. So if you just click the little blue plus sign, you can go ahead and get tab scissors and tab glue added to your Chrome browser. So you do want to make sure, everybody, that you're signed into Google Chrome, because if you go and add all of these things and you're not signed into the browser, it's not going to save them for you, and you want them to save. So if you're not sure what that means, you'll see your name. Notice how my name is right up here. It says Krista. You can also check by these 3 little lines on the right-hand side. We call those the hot dogs because it looks like a package of hot dogs. So if you click on those, you can see in your settings whether or not you're logged in. Okay, and it'll tell you whether you're logged into Chrome. See how it says signed in right here? You want to make sure that you're signed into the browser so that all this stuff that I'm showing you today and any favorites that you want to save are all going to be there. Okay? Questions about Google Chrome extensions or the tab scissors and tab glue? If not, we'll move on.
I don't have any questions on our end.
All right. So some other things that tend to blow people's mind, and I think this is what made Ryan want to do this whole presentation, were some inbox and Gmail stuff. So again, there's a big list here, and I wanted to show you guys, but a lot of this just has to do with inbox zero. I'm a pretty big fan of this, and I think you'll see all of my notes down here in the notes section. Inbox zero is basically just the concept of trying to keep your inbox working for you rather than against you, and trying to keep it at 0 at least once a day. So you can see right now I've got 6 emails going on in my inbox. That's okay with me right now, but I only have 6 because I've checked the other ones and done what I was supposed to do with those. So you either delegate, do something, respond, defer. Y'all can read all about that, and there's a whole hour-long video linked in there from Merlin Mann, who's kind of the guy that started all of that. But one of the ways that I do that is with priority inbox. And again, all of this is linked for you. This takes you straight to the little help page and how to set it up on your desktop. There's even a little video. And just a little disclaimer, anybody that wants to do this, you can set your priority inbox up however you want to set it up. Your priorities are very different than my priorities and what I want in my inbox. I've got my unread messages here on top. I've got a section right here for all of my administrators that send me an email, all of my APs on my campus, my associate principal, and my principal. I've got a section for my ITS people, all the other ITSs when we have conversations via email, those go there. And then we've got everybody else. Sorry if you fall into the everybody else category. Can't help. Don't judge my priorities, people. All right, so in order to set up that priority inbox, we're just going to, again, click the little settings wheel up here and go down to settings and wait for it to load because we're live, so of course it wants to be slow. And you'll notice you have all of these different options across the top. We're going to click on inbox right here. In inbox type, you guys probably have default going right now, or maybe you have something else like unread first or important first. Just go ahead and click on priority inbox. And then you'll notice you can either just reset it to the default, or you've got some options over here as to what you want to see first, what you want to see next, etc. So again, I can't tell you how to set this up, but it's your priorities, however you want to do it, but this is the way that I prioritize my email so that it kind of helps me get my workflow going on. So whatever it is that you choose in your priority inbox, make sure that you save those changes so that it'll work, and then when you get back to your inbox, it should separate it as such. And a lot of people do this a lot of different ways. I know an ITS that has the unread messages and then their administrator messages and a starred section, so anything that they've starred, and that's because what they star is something that they need to reply to. So again, it's all up to you and kind of how you want to do that. Choose as you wish. So that's priority inbox, and again, that's linked here in the presentation. The next one that blows teachers' minds and people's mind is this mute conversation, which people don't really always realize that they can do, and it's just the greatest thing ever. I'm at a high school campus, so we get a lot of messages that people want to reply all to. Like, I know we got one today that was like, way to go, McNeil Wrestling, and they did a great job. However, now that I know that McNeil Wrestling did a great job, I don't necessarily need to hear everyone reply all to the McNeil message, right, the wrestling message. Or maybe you, I don't know, we always get those, I lost my keys in the bathroom, or whatever it may be. If you haven't seen those keys, you don't need to see that message anymore, or any of the reply alls that go along with it. So we can mute those conversations. So I gave an example here. It's called super annoying reply alls. And if this were one of those email messages that you don't necessarily need to hear anymore, or you're not really part of this conversation anymore, you can mute it. And that's going to be right up here on this button, your little more button right here. And it's the final option to mute that puppy. Okay? So if you mute that, it doesn't delete it. It doesn't take it out of your life, right? It just kind of archives it. And if someone replies directly to you, you will still get it. But if everyone's doing that reply all thing that can get a little overwhelming, you don't have to listen to it anymore. So you can mute and ignore those kind of things. So mute conversation is everyone's secret favorite because I think they don't want to be rude and say they don't want to hear that email. But it's kind of nice to be able to mute some of that stuff. All right, no questions so far?
Not so far. You're coming up to my favorite part pretty soon, too, the filter.
The undo send is basically the greatest thing in all of email history. So we'll go ahead and talk about that real quickly. It's exactly what it says it is. It undoes your sending. All right, so let's say I'm sending an email, like I was the other day, to our counselor, and I was telling our counselor how to send to the whole student body, right, and giving them the email address. Well, I had also typed the email address to the entire student body in that message. So Ryan, you're going to be my guinea pig right now.
Sounds good.
All right, so if I were typing an email to Ryan, okay, and let's say I type something and I forget to attach something, or I type something mean, right, something evil, then I can type all those things up, and what's cool about undo send is I say, oh no, wait, I forgot to add an attachment, or I didn't mean to say that to Ryan Smith, I was going to say that to Ryan Ball. So I click undo right up here, and the message has been undone. That never went to Ryan's inbox. I no longer look like an idiot, which is a great thing. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. But undo send is a really cool feature. And the whole how to undo send is right here. Let's run through it really quickly. Again, we're going to our settings. And I'm going to go into labs right up here. And if you just type the word undo, it shows up. And you want to enable undo send and save changes. So once you save those changes, it's going to take you back to your inbox. But there's one other little trick. Undo send defaults to 10 seconds. And 10 seconds seems like a really long time if you were about to count from 1 to 10. But when you're in the zone and you're sending the email and it went to the wrong person or doesn't have the attachment and it's going to make you look ridiculous, 10 seconds, not enough time, people. Trust me. So we're going to go back into our settings right up here in the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to give you 30 entire seconds of your life back. You're welcome. So as soon as our settings load up, now that I've activated undo send in the labs, it's here under general. So I'm just going to scroll down right here where it says undo send. And I'm going to click this little button and give myself 30 entire seconds to make a mistake. And if you can't fix it in 30 seconds, guys, I don't know what to do with you. So make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom, save those changes, and when you get back to your inbox, you can go ahead and practice. If you'd like to practice sending me one, you're certainly welcome to. And you can click undo send. I won't mind if you mess up, and then I can reply to you and say, hey, what happened? So we can fix that. So if you want to practice undo send, feel free to use my email address. All right, so undo send is another thing that blows people's minds. Filters is next on our list, and filters again is part of email, and that's kind of how I make my priority inbox work for me. Okay, because I have a filter that says if any one of my administrators sends me something, it needs to go to this section. And I have a filter that says if it's from my ITSs, it needs to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go and look at some of those filters. So again, I'm going back into my settings here. And all of these instructions are for you right here. If you just click on it and then click the link, there's all of your instructions. Okay, so one of my top menu items here is filters. Now, don't be stressed out about Krista Tyler's gajillion filters that I have, okay, because I have a lot of them. But it's just because I want them to do certain things, right? I always want anything from my boss to have a certain label, and it never needs to go to spam, and I always want it to be important, okay? So I have a lot of different filters going on there. You can create filters in that settings space, but one of the easiest ways to do it, I think I called that super annoying. Look, Greg, I called you super annoying too on accident. Let's see. So if I wanted this super annoying email, okay, let's say I want to make a filter for this. Okay, I can just click right up here on more, and I can say filter messages like these. All right, so that's kind of the easiest way for me to do that. So I'm going to filter that, and I can say any message that comes from this sender. I could say any message that is to McNeil_staff, right? Maybe I want to do that because I want all of my staff emails to do something. A lot of us are on a bunch of different staff emails, and that can get a little overwhelming. So if you want to filter those out, then that would be something that would help keep you productive. I know I've got an assistant principal, and as a high school assistant principal, you get the e-news from all of your elementaries and all of your middle schools, which is great because you want to know what's going on, but at the same time, you don't want it filling your inbox. So you can go ahead and make a filter for it. I'm going to say create filter with this search, and then I'm going to tell it what to do. All right, do I want it to skip my inbox? Maybe. I'm not going to do that with my McNeil staff, but if you wanted to, you could. I could star it, right? Maybe everything that goes to the whole staff, I want to make sure that I'm reading. I could give it a label, right? I've got a ton of labels here, but if you don't, you could make a new label right there. I could forward it to something else, delete it, all kinds of different things. And what's great is that it also applies it to any matching conversation. So if I decide today that I want to start filtering things, it filters it for everything that's ever come from that address or everything that matches my criteria here. So that is how you create a filter. I'm not going to do one right now because I want my McNeil staff stuff to stay exactly the way that it already works. And that is creating filters. I saw that we had a question, red and green bubbles. What are we talking about? Is it my conversation bubbles that are happening down here?
Yeah, I think down at the bottom of the Hangout, if you're watching it, it's got kind of a flow of how long we've been talking, and I think I'm not sure what that does. Do you know what that does?
You can, red is going to be live, so it would skip you over to the live version of it. And then green, I would assume, is probably where you are right now. It's been a while since I've watched one. I'm always on this side of them, so I'm not sure. So sorry about that, Travis. Maybe we can figure that out and help you at a later time. So another one that I added specifically for this presentation, because an administrator asked me about it, they said, you know, here's why I don't like Gmail, because I miss Lotus Notes and how I could send, you know, like I could have a response and then I could save that response and I could send it every time someone asked me a question. And I said, dude, that totally works in Gmail, and it's a canned response, okay? So if you are looking for something like that, then canned responses is going to work for you. Now, I don't even think I have, maybe I have a one called blah blah, canned responses. Yeah, I have a demo one. So let's say I'm sending an email, and I know that, you know, 20 teachers are all going to have the same question. So I can type up the answer to my question right here, and I can go ahead, and there's a little arrow right down here, guys, by the delete button, and I click on that, and there's canned responses. So I can do a new canned response, okay, and call it, I'm going to call it fake response because I don't ever want to actually send it. I'm just demoing here. But I can call it fake response. So then the next time that I open up an email and I need to respond to someone, I can just click canned response, fake response, and it'll say, is this what you want to do? Whoops, I didn't mean to delete it. Canned response, insert, fake response. And it'll insert it for me. Now, notice how I now have two signatures. That can be annoying. Okay, so make sure that if you have a signature as part of your email, when you create that canned response, that you delete your signature, okay, and then go and save it as a new response. Okay, so if I go and save that again, you'll see that now when I insert my fake response, it only has the text. It didn't double up on my signature there. Okay, so canned response, very popular, mind-blowing feature of Gmail. And then when you're done with those, which I'm done with mine, notice how it says delete, save, or insert. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and it will say, are you sure that you want to do this? And I say yes, it's fine. So now I've deleted those canned responses, and I'm good to go. All right.
I think that's great. I can say with filters, I went from a inbox of several thousand emails down to nothing. Everything filtered and everything in its place in about an hour and a half.
Well, and that's a big part of the notes down here where it talks about inbox zero. You know, it talks about not letting your inbox rule your life, that you're in charge of your inbox, and that it's okay, empowers you, you know, be in charge of your own inbox. Another one that I added just the other day is this awesome thing that I found out by accident, and it was basically the coolest thing in the whole wide world. So if I just go here and Google, let's say I want to make some brownies. Okay, so I can do something that I didn't know I could do until the other day. This search tool right here, if I'm looking for a recipe, I can now filter this search by brownies that only take me less than 15 minutes, score microwave double chocolate brownies. Or if I want brownies that include peanut butter, oh yes, please, and take less than 15 minutes, marshmallow crisp brownies, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds amazing. And so these search tools, I knew that they were available for images, which we'll go into in just a little bit, but I did not realize that they were available for recipes in Google. Now I did notice that, like, if I type, I don't know, cookies, okay, oh, of course, now they're there. I can go and look for them, but the other day I couldn't, so I'm not real positive. Yeah, see how it doesn't have it now? I'm not sure what the key is to making those things pop up, but it was so awesome. I was looking for spaghetti squash, was the actual thing I was looking for the other day. Okay, and I could now it's not even showing up. So who knows what makes that work and what makes it not work? Look, now it is showing up. So I guess that word recipes, I don't know. But it is the coolest. Cook time, calories, all the stuff near me. Like this is, you know, I can search for recipes that happened in Round Rock, Texas, or were posted here, so that's kind of cool. Very neat search tool. Way to go, Google. Everyone's going to be making brownies tonight. Make sure you share them with your people. All right. Still no questions. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but if you guys are grasping it, I'm cool with that. So.
You're doing great.
Okay. All right. So pinning tabs is another little thing that Amy Mayer showed in a video of hers one time, and I've got Amy Mayer's link to her YouTube channel down here. Very helpful space. If you need some googly type advice, she's pretty good. Has some great videos. So pinning tabs is one of those things, and that's what I've got right up here. So you'll see that my Mail, my Google+, my Drive is all pinned, and I can't accidentally close them, which is really convenient. So if I wanted to do this, I would just right-click, and can you see the right-click happening there, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yes, we can.
So I can just right-click and pin my tab. So now I can't accidentally close this tab, plus it frees up some real estate up here across the top. And I can change the order. I'm just left-clicking and dragging, left-click and drag. If I want it to be in a different order, I can do that. And I can pin all the things that I would not want to accidentally close, like so. And then there they are. So pinning tabs is a really nice little feature, and you can't accidentally close them. You just right-click and unpin it whenever you're ready, and then you're able to close it. Oh no, whatever shall I do? I just closed out my presentation. Is anyone else freaking out right now? You don't have to, because if I right-click, I can click this great thing right here that says Reopen Close Tab, and it brings my tab right back to me. So I think that's a thing that blows a lot of people's minds too, is what? I always freak out when I accidentally close something. So you can pin them to avoid that, but you also have that little safety net of right-click and Reopen Close Tab, and it's a wonderful, wonderful little feature. Another thing that Amy taught me was this picture icon favorites right here. Okay, so you'll notice I've got my YouTube up here, but it doesn't say the word YouTube, and I've got my little pick monkey icon here, but it doesn't say the word pick monkey, and that's really because, you know, you run out of space up here. I'm already out of space, and I'm already using this. So if you find that you have a lot of bookmarks that have these, you know, easy to recognize icons like these things do, then you can just right-click on those and edit them and just delete the name. Right, so this used to say YouTube, but I don't need that space taken out of my bookmarks bar. So I can just right-click and edit and take it away. And now I've got these nice little pictures. Right? I've also, this drag and drop bookmarks feature is pretty cool. This little icon that pops up next to stuff, if you just left-click on that and drag it right down here, it adds it to your bookmarks bar. Right, so all I did was take that little lock right there and left-click and drag it over. If I don't like it, I can delete it. And you can do that with any website that you choose. So all of those no-name favorites and those drag-and-drop bookmarks are really nice as well. All right, the next things I wanted to talk about were some more extensions that I think you'll enjoy. One of my favorites is Tab Cloud, and that's this little cloud guy right up here. Okay, so if I click on Tab Cloud, you'll see that I have lots of different little collections of tabs. Tab Cloud just saves these sets of tabs that you have open, right? So right now, if I wanted to name this one, I would just click there and do Practice Mind Blown. And I click the little disk, and it saves it for me. So then if I were to close this out, like so, I said like so, come on. There we go. Then I can use my Tab Cloud, and I'm on a different screen right now, but give me just a second. My computer's freezing up, Ryan. Is yours?
I can still hear you. My computer seems fine.
All right, well, give me just a second. We're kind of frozen over here.
We had
Trying to
another
do too
question
many
pop
cool
up.
things.
There you go.
Okay, good deal. Oh, I went ahead and used my tab cloud, guys, to go ahead and open up all of those same tabs that I.
You're breaking up a little bit. You might want to repeat that last little bit.
All right, sorry, Ryan. And I'm a little frozen over here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Looks like your tabs just came back up.
As long as y'all can see it, I guess we're good to go. So you'll see they all opened right back up because I just clicked over here on another window. I clicked on that, and I clicked my little green plus, and it opened up all of my stuff. Okay, all those same tabs that I had. And then when I'm done with those, I can just click the little dash, the red dash, and I can delete them. So I don't need them anymore. And you'll see that I do this a lot for my presentations, things that I want to all be opened up at the same time. I did it for Mind Blown earlier, but I thought I'd just open those up live for you guys. But you can save really anything that you want over there. If you're browsing a bunch of stuff and you've got some really helpful tabs open, you could save it as a tab cloud and open it from home or tomorrow or whatever day that you want to do that. So that's tab cloud. And again, that's in the Chrome Web Store. The link to it is right here. But you can also get to the web store with this little colorful apps button right here. My friend Shannon calls that the Rainbow Apps Launcher. Okay, so you can get to the web store from there as well. And I saved the web store as a favorite. See my little shopping bag? I like to do that. So there's Tab Cloud, and again, yours will have the blue plus free sign instead of the green because I've already got it. But all of those are linked there for you. So that's Tab Cloud. Another one is called One Tab, and it's exactly how it sounds as well. It's this little funnel right here. And I'm not going to play with it right now just because that caused some problems with the other one. But if I were to click this little one tab button, it would minimize all of these little things. I really want y'all to see it. Let's try it again. We're going to be brave. I click my funnel. It may ask me for permission. It's been a while since I used them. Oh, because all these are pinned. Let me unpin some so y'all can really see what it does. Open that back up. So now I've got a couple of little windows that I want to save, and I can just hit my little one tab funnel, and it took those all down into a little list of tabs, and I can restore them all. I could delete them all. I could share them as a web page, which is kind of my favorite. Right? If I wanted to, everyone could scan this QR code in my presentation and it'd open up all the tabs that I want. Or my students could scan this QR code and have all of the different library databases open or whatever you want to do with that. I'm going to go ahead and restore them all. In here they all pop up in their new little window. And I don't want them to be their own window, so I'm just clicking and dragging that back together. I know that gets a little confusing, but... So that's one tab. And then another favorite would be panic button. So that's this little red guy right here. I'm going to do this with this. We're doing a little, let's pretend that all of these lovely ITS's names were student names, right? And I suddenly realized, oh no, I'm broadcasting to the planet right now. So I could click that panic button and it just took them all away. You have no idea what I was looking at or that I was looking at anything. I could just move on down the highway and pretend that I was on YouTube or whatever it is that I want. And then when I'm done, I can click my panic button again and it will open that back up. I didn't have to broadcast these student names or whatever it may be, your sensitive data, to the rest of the world. So that was panic button.
Right,
and again, all of those are linked.
Is that an extension also?
Yeah, all of these are extensions. Yeah, they're all extensions. So this one always made me think of, as a teacher, you know, we'd be meeting with a team of teachers talking about grades or whatever it is, and we've got those up on a screen, and all of a sudden a kid has a question, and they're walking in, and it's like, oh no, I got to put this down real quick. So that panic button is really helpful for those kind of situations. Even if you never use it, if you only use it one time, it's worth the worth the extension ad right there. So that's a nice
And
one.
with extensions, Krista, anybody can add those to your Chrome environment, right? You don't need to be a administrator on your computer.
No, you don't. And if you're logged into your Chrome browser, again, you want to look for your name up here and make sure in your settings that you're logged in, okay, signed in as you, and then you just travel on over to the web store and you can go shop for all of those extensions. So if you want to look at just extensions, that's right here. Mm-hmm. And there are gazillions. I mean, I've got quite a few up here, but there are people with, you know, where their bar is just this big and it's all extensions, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do with those, and that's pretty cool. So, any other questions about extensions or anything else?
I don't think so. I think you're right. Extensions is something we could spend a whole nother hour talking about.
It's like an entire, it's a whole thing on its own. Mm-hmm. So, but those are some of my favorites, and then you can see all these up here that I use all the time. So, they're pretty cool. Another one I wanted to show you guys is one that Carol Giblin suggested I share with other teachers, because we had a little app smash, I guess last Saturday or the Saturday before, January 31st. And she saw this one and thought, oh, I've been looking for that. Why has no one taught me this? And it is ViewPure. And so what ViewPure does, it's just this little site, and you can go and take a YouTube video. Let's go find one. Oh, Will Ferrell, yes, lip syncing it up. Okay, so if I want to just show this, but I don't want to see all of these ads that come along with it, okay, then I can just take that link, put it into ViewPure, and purify it. So now it's just the video.
Wow.
Okay, it's nothing else. This is really helpful for teachers if you want to go and show a video, but you don't want all that stuff to show up on the side. Use this link that it gave you right here in the address bar, and that will show the video only, not all of the stuff on the other side. Okay, so ViewPure is a really nice one, and thank you, Carol, for suggesting that I share that, because that's a good one. So, and there's your link right there. Another one that Giblin actually inspired that I do this is emailing directly to YouTube. Okay, and I put the instructions down in the notes of our presentation. But when you go into your YouTube settings, okay, I don't want to go and show all mine. I'll have people emailing YouTube videos directly to my channel. But you can go into your settings, and under account information, you go and find mobile uploads, and there's a weird, funky address that has like all crazy letters and numbers at m.youtube.com. Well, if you or someone on your team were to send a video to that email address, it would post automatically into YouTube. And it's very cool, and all of that kind of depends on how you've got your YouTube settings set up and all of those sort of things. Let me go see if I can find one of Carol's. I thought I had her saved on here, but I guess I don't. There's all my TED Ed channels. But if I wanted to, I could go in and say, okay, all of my teachers, I want you guys to send a help video to my YouTube channel, and I could give them this address, and they could all send in their own videos. Okay, so and it's really helpful in your classroom. I know Carol does, when the kids create a video or make a little presentation that they record, they send it directly to her channel that she has set up for them. I think it's called Giblin Projects or something. And she has it all set up, and they send it in, and she doesn't have to do any of that back-end stuff. It just goes and posts like she's told it to. So it's a really cool little feature that a lot of people don't know about in YouTube. So if you're looking to kind of start a YouTube channel, or you want to kind of do that with some other people, collaborate on a channel, that's a good way to do that. Okay, so this is usually where I stop and say, are your brains okay? Has your mind been completely blown yet? I don't want to hurt you today. So I see we don't have any questions. So I'm going to assume that all of these people that are in here right now don't have questions, and that they're doing fine. And we will move on.
Good to go, ready to learn probably just a couple more things. We got about maybe 10 more minutes.
Okay, that's just the right amount of time. I'll skip slide 11, but people can look into that as they want to. So research in Google Docs and Google Presentations is one of my favorites. So that's here. I'm going to click on research. And it has all the information about your research tool. But I'll go ahead and just show you right here inside of the presentation. You can do this in Google Docs and you can do it in presentation. So I'm going to show you here. I went ahead and inserted a new slide. And let's say I want to add a picture. All right, so I'm going to add a picture. So I'm going to click right here on Tools and Research. Because I need to go find a picture of, I don't know, a really adorable puppy. All right, so right now I'm searching all of Google. Right, my search engine is right here in the sidebar. And I can look for all of these puppies. If I wanted a quote about puppies, I could go right here and click on quotes. Oh, a puppy. All right, or I could even go and find maybe some videos on puppies. Look at all of these. Oh, look, there's the little lost dog commercial from the Super Bowl. Or if I wanted pictures, I can click on images and look at all the sweet puppies. But what teachers and students and people in general tend to do is say, oh, sweet, it's on Google, so I can just use this picture. But you can't. There's something called copyright, and that's straight up stealing. So if you've been doing that, stop now. You have been warned by Krista Tyler, the copyright police. But right here where it says not filtered by license, I can go ahead and say free to use, share, and modify. And all of a sudden I have pictures that people have licensed free to use and share. So I can get this sweet little dog with her cute blue bow, and she can be part of my stuff. What else is cool is that it links it for you. So that's the source of this photo, and I know that it's from Wikipedia Commons, which I know is a free to use or share site. If you found a different site here, you might want to check into that and go and look and make sure that your copyright is appropriate. But it's a very cool way to go and insert things into your presentation or into your doc. And it keeps you, again, from having to switch, oh, okay, I Googled it in this window, and now I want to put it in this presentation. So let me come back to this window, and let me copy the picture, and then come back over here. Oh, wait, what's the source of that picture? I have to cite my sources, so let me come back over here. It just puts all of that to rest, and you can search and research right there inside the presentation or inside the document, and it's a really great little feature there. So that is research in Google Docs. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this adorable dog. Man, that's hard to do. All right, we've got two more extensions. Okay, one of those is called Speak It, and one is called Readline. I think these are best for teachers probably and students. But that's kind of how I live my life, is finding stuff for teachers and students. So Speak It, I don't think I'm going to demo that for you guys right now because it would not transfer well in a Google Hangout. But once you've added it, you can highlight text, and you would hit your little Speak It button, and it will talk and say whatever text it is that you've highlighted. You have other options, too, to change who is speaking. Ladies, I prefer the UK male. He's my favorite. So if you would like to choose him as well, you certainly can. And you can set up keyboard shortcuts and things like that. But this will read to you any kind of web-based text. So if you've got something that you're trying to read on the web, or if you just wanted to listen to it, it is a little robotic. You can slow it down. You can change the volume level. But if you just kind of need to hear something while you're reading it, or if you just want to listen to some information that you're supposed to be reading, then that's a nice little feature right there. I'm going to open up Time for Kids real quick, because the next one that I'm going to show you is Readline. Again, that's in the Chrome Web Store. You can open that up. And what Readline does is it takes all of this. Let's go find us an article to read. Here we go. So if I were to read all of this text, it's only really this tiny little portion in the center, right? I've got all of these distractors over here on the left. I've got more articles I could read. There's some sort of advertisement going on, if I just want to focus on just the things that I'm supposed to read right here, then I can do that with read line. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my options and make sure this is set up properly before I demo that for you. I want to be able to select a text and then hit the space bar and it will start reading it. So I'm going to do that, and then I select my text and hit the space bar, and it starts reading to me. But it just reads one word at a time instead of trying to read that tiny section in the center and not be distracted by all the stuff on the outside. So if you have students, or if you're one of those people like myself that gets really distracted, it's a nice way to kind of read through stuff. And you can change, again, the words per minute. And they've done all kinds of fancy research that says if you see that one little red letter in the middle, that helps you remember the word. I don't know if all that is accurate, but it helps me, and I like it. So if you wanted to read really fast or really slow, or however it is that you want to read, you can go and adjust that and change anything to the way that you want it. You can even change the font if you really want to. So that is read line, and again, that's in the Chrome Web Store as well. Another extension, full of extensions over here.
Very cool, Crystal. I think we got time for about one more. Maybe,
okay.
I think Google Voice could help out a lot of folks.
Okay. I don't demo my Google Voice live just because those are my phone calls, so don't be offended. But anything that you want to learn about Google Voice is here, and it gives, just like it says, it gives you one number for all of your phones. Okay. You can sort of pick your number, whichever number that you're wanting, and then if people call that phone number, it can either ring on all of your phones, or it can only ring on whichever phone that you designate it to. Like if you only want your cell phone to ring forever, right? You don't want your office phone to ring or your home phone to ring or anything else, you can make it just ring your cell phone. The Google Voice, or the way I use Google Voice, is mostly for like conventions and workshops and things that I go to where they say, hey, give us your phone number so that we can call you and sell you stuff. I don't really want to get those phone calls, and so that's usually the number that I give them. I know some other ITSs give out their Google Voice number so that people can contact them, and they can either choose if this is an appropriate time to answer or not. People can use it in a lot of different ways.
And I know one way. Oh, sorry. One way that we're using it in the professional development department is trying to get people to call our Google Voice number, because we're so mobile, and a lot of departments spend more time out on campuses and out around the district than they do, at their desk. And what we're able to do then is that we'll ring through to a cell phone number, and even if you don't pick up, then you get a text and an email with a voice transcription of the voicemail. So that's coming real handy for me, especially as we move around, from campus to campus.
Right, and all of that's logged in with your Google account, and so it's all work related, and then you have a running track record of the calls that you've made or not made with right there inside of your account. So if you're interested in Google Voice, that's definitely something you want to check out. And again, you can decide which phone rings and when and all that kind of stuff. Do you want me to show one more? I can show Snag It because it's legit. Sure. Another extension, guys. Told you, I'm in love with them. So Snag It, the only thing you need to know about Snag It is that you have to have the app and the extension. So when you're here in the web store and you go and type in Snag It, you want this app and you want the extension right here. And this is a really slick little tool, and it is probably what enables most of the ITSs to take some of our screenshots. So I've got my little Snag It extension right here, and it pops up this little toolbar. So I could either take a picture of a region or whatever area is visible. I can click and drag. I'm going to take a little screenshot, take a picture. All right, I can give my image a name if it will let me. It's making me select an account. Give me a second. It may do that to you too, where you got to accept your permissions again. Okay, so I can go ahead and name it. Fake image. And it gives you all these little tools. So if I wanted to direct people to this super cool nose right here, right, I can draw a square around it. I've got triangles and arrows and circles and even a little text box. Right, mind blown. And I can move those things around and put them wherever I want. So I've just made a little screencast. And what is really cool is that it saves this. You can either get a link or you can download that image. And it will save it in my Google Drive. So in my Google Drive, if I find, I think it's TechSmith is the name of the folder. Now I won't be able to find it, of course. All right, there it is. So TechSmith, this folder, saves all of my images automatically. And you can see I use that quite often. But there it is right there in my Google Drive. So if you have that app and that extension, it will save it automatically for you. Okay, now I'm done blowing your minds. Let me know how I did. I know we didn't get to everything in the presentation, but if you guys will go ahead and visit this link right here, it's bit.do/mindblown-eval, and let me know what you liked, what you hated, all that good stuff. You can find me on Twitter and Google+. And you can hashtag mindblown or RRISDPD, and we'll be able to find that good stuff. And I hope that you learned at least one new thing today. So
I think we all learned quite a bit, Krista. Even though I've seen the presentation before, I know I've picked up a few more things as well. So we
so you just see it twice. So we make sure to replay this on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. We should. It's all recorded, and it'll be on the professional development site as well as my YouTube channel. So please go back and watch. You know, I know we went quick, went through a lot of things, but really want to take advantage of this opportunity to get this kind of knowledge out to the whole district. You know, we at times watching our viewer count, we had about 50 people watching live, and I'm sure many more will be watching the recording.
No pressure at all. No pressure.
And Krista, you did a great job. It's our first time trying this, and so I'm really excited about how it went, and we're going to be doing more of it. So just everybody who's watching, as you're out at different trainings and you see things that you think the rest of the district would really benefit from seeing, let me know, email the professional development department, and we're going to start having more of these. So whatever session you might be in, and if you think that's something that everybody would benefit for, please reach out and let me know. Wanted to also mention a couple things coming up. Ed Camp Leander is going to be January 21st. I'll put a link to that as well on the Google Plus page and our PD website. If you've never been to an Ed Camp, it's definitely something to go try out. You can find more information about it there.
I will definitely be at that one for sure.
Yep, Krista will be there. You can meet her in person.
Yeah.
It's worth the trip.
Cool.
And then one other thing is tomorrow night we will be doing our next PD in your PJs, so make sure you tune into that as well. If you had some question that didn't get answered today about Google, it could be answered there tomorrow night. I know a lot of the ITSs are going to be taking questions and making everything make sense. It's like what they do.
Guess who's in that one again tomorrow, Ryan? That would be me again.
Thank you, Krista.
I'm not the only one, though. There's lots of other ITSs.
That's right. All right, well, thank you again, everybody. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.